Keyloggers. Keyloggers are basically spy software that can be used by an attacker to monitor all keystrokes being made on the victim system or to figure out what keys are being pressed on the victim's computer. They are commonly used for spying purposes, for corporate espionage, and for intellectual property theft. The way keyloggers work is, if I'm an attacker, if you're the victim, I will somehow try to install the keylogger on your system. Once I've installed the keylogger on your system, then I'll program the keylogger in such a manner that it will actually record all keys or all keystrokes being made on your system into a log file. And that log file will then be programmed to automatically send back all the keystrokes being made or all the recorded data to a predefined email address. So keyloggers are typically used by an attacker to remotely determine what keystrokes are being made on the victim's computer. So you can imagine the applications of keyloggers are quite vast. You can find out usernames and passwords, credit card information, bank account details, sensitive emails that are being typed, sensitive contracts or documents that are being typed. Pretty much commonly keyloggers are being used for espionage, for intelligence gathering, and for intellectual property theft. So what is the working of keyloggers? It's quite simple. Attacker installs keylogger on the victim's computer. The keylogger works secretly in the background and records all keystrokes made by the attacker in a log file. The keylogger can then be configured to automatically email the log file to the attacker periodically. And finally, a lot of the Windows-based keyloggers also have a fantastic option known as auto destruct. In other words, you can actually determine at what date and what time the keylogger is automatically destroyed or automatically deleted. Now, so what are the countermeasures that a system administrator must take against keyloggers? First of all, periodic detection practices must be made mandatory. A typical keylogger automatically loads itself into the memory each time the computer boots. As a result, if you're a system administrator, you must search all the startup files of your system. If you go through the reading material which has been assigned to you, you know the startup file or startup locations that I'm referring to, and remove any references that you find to the suspicious program from those startup locations. Finally, this will help you to remove the keyloggers from your system. Also, I highly recommend that you must ensure that the antivirus tools that have been installed in your system are up to date. The virus definition files must be updated on a daily basis. If you notice, I did not recommend any keylogging tools to you. The reason behind that is the fact that there are thousands of keyloggers available on the internet. Most of them pretty much have worked in the same manner, pretty much are equally effective, and there is very little difference between them. As a result, I totally recommend that you just search on the internet and download any keylogger that you find useful. Nonetheless, for the benefit of all those of you who have attended this course, I'll give a small demonstration of how a typical keylogger looks like and how it works.